Hello and welcome to day 187 in this quest for a 2000 rapid chess rating on chess.com. So I've been playing the Jabava London with white and the Caro-Kann or the Slav defense with the black pieces. So this is the 999th video that I've done for this channel. So tomorrow I'll do the 1000th video and I'm going to try something new, a new series where I will do some Chess Master recommended openings that I find on other YouTube channels or wherever, in books. And, I want to try and start some different openings in case you're getting bored with me using the same openings in this series. So let's find an opponent here. For today, I'm going to continue on with the Jabava London. But in the future, I'm going to try something different. And stay tuned for that. All right, so knight to f6. So we want to play knight to c3 for the Jabava London. And then we bring the bishop up here. Okay, so do we just go ahead and do that? Or do we bring the pawn into the center since they're allowing us that option as well? All right, I'm going to just take the center since they'll allow us to do that. All right, now we could just go ahead and grab space in the center, attacking. So we might as well do that. We'll just attack their knight if they're going to let us grab space in the center like that. All right. So now, what do we do? We could knock that knight out. We could possibly just develop our knight. I'm thinking we just go here, back our knight up. We can threaten to take his knight. If his bishop recaptures, well, then we can jump our knight forward and attack his bishop. And that does allow us to develop a piece as well. You have to be kind of aware of that you're not moving pieces twice in the opening unless you have to. So already we've forced their knight to move twice. Okay. Well, now, what does this do? There's a threat here. So probably we just want to take that knight and then attack the bishop next. So we'll go ahead and do that. But what is the best way to attack this bishop? If we develop our knight over here, it blocks our pawn in. So maybe we just go there, attack that bishop. If he drops back, now there we did move a piece twice in the opening, but we did it with tempo. the bishop will have to retreat. So now, what do we do? Could cause weaknesses if we push this pawn. See, because this could be an issue. Our bishop's kind of trapped there. All right, instead of wasting time, I'm going to go there. Then we can bring our bishop towards the center. Get ready to castle. Bring this bishop maybe to here. All right, so right away an attack. So we'll just protect that. All right. Now, if they try to check us, we can block with our bishop. Okay. So, an attack. Do we have to play a defensive move, keeping that knight from moving forward? Possibly. All right, we'll go there. I probably should have moved a piece because, if this pawn starts moving, what should we do in that case? If that happens, I guess we could try a pin. Okay, so he gives us some time to deal with that. Well, need to move my light squared bishop. That way I can get ready to castle. But where? Where is best? All right, well, let's go there and protect that pawn first. That way I can develop my other bishop. And this bishop will be protecting. So we'll go there, aim at his king side. And then what? Okay, so we have an attack building up there. Question is now, do I push this up to help guard that? Perhaps. So we'll go ahead and do that. He's applying a lot of pressure on my pawn center though, which is not so good. Okay. Now, can I afford to ignore that? Probably. I'll just castle and ignore that. Oh, did I have a better move? No, he would have been able to check me. But we do have this possibility of threatening a mate up here and attacking the bishop at the same time. Hmm. But, if I hadn't have castled, then he could have captured the knight with check. So now we still have that threat. We still have the threat of a mate threat with the queen and the bishop lined up here. Oh, well, no. Excuse me, their queen is covering there. So I guess that doesn't really do much. All right. Which way to capture? Probably this way, because I don't want this backward pawn. Now, do we have any kind of threat first? I mean, what if we ignore that pawn capture, bring our queen up here threatening a mate? Well, they could block and attack our queen, so that doesn't really accomplish much. So I'm going to just go that way. All right, so after capture, we're forced to recapture. We have doubled pawns. And I don't know if I'd want to bring my king over here. And try and bring my rooks over on the H file. If I do that, in the meantime, he could attack here, open things up. Okay. All right, now what? Probably need to fight for this open file, attack that queen immediately. All right, so that's what I'm going to do, attack the queen immediately. Oh, he is threatening a mate, though. He is threatening a mate. So I need to deal with that first. All right. Now what? The obvious move might be to just go there. All right, so now we can trade queens and grab his knight. right, now what? We just go after his rook. We're in an opposite colored bishop endgame, which is usually more drawish. We do have these doubled pawns here. But, what can our opponent do? We could go up here to the 7th rank going after his pawn, and if the one pawn moves, well, he'd probably have to protect with his rook. Then his rook will be kind of stuck there. And maybe that would allow us to get, well, it restricts his rook over here. So if we bring our rook up here, he can't move. Okay. So, what now? Well, one thing though, if I come up here, and attack, and he gets counterplay by bringing his rook over here, and we still have this pawn that can come under attack. All right. Well, does that achieve anything if he starts pushing forward? I don't know if that really does much, because now he'll be guarding this. He can just push that pawn forward. So, thinking we just bring our king up. All right. Now, what next? I mean, do I need to get this pawn pushed forward and try and go here? But then I'm going to have wrecked pawns. Okay. Do we grab the 7th rank? Maybe we go there. Gain space on the queen side. And I need to find a better position for my bishop. Maybe I can bring my king, put this bishop up here, get my king up to where my bishop is, closer to the center. I don't know, these doubled pawns though, it would be nice to get rid of that. This pawn here. Okay, well, Well, now I can just back that up. So if he captures, I can capture. And I'm also threatening to take, and then he takes. He could push his pawn forward, which he does. Okay, so now what next? We just go there. And if he pushes his other pawn forward, well then we can go here blocking the c file from his rook, swing our rook over, fight for the d file. Okay. So we're going to go there, block that. The issue is this backwards pawn is not so good there. So we need to do something about that. Okay, what now? Well, now we can just go right there, pinning that. All right. So we'll go there. All right, that at least allows us the opportunity to push this pawn up here so his bishop's not attacking it anymore. And if he pushes forward, well then we could push up instead of taking. You know, keep this H file closed. But then his king could infiltrate into the position. We'll go that way. All right, now what? Well, we don't want his king coming further forward. So we'll go there to block his king out. I don't know. He's doing a good job, though, of infiltrating in. What now? What now? Man, his bishop is really giving me an issue here. All right. What can we do? What can we do? Man. What now? Need to activate my rook somehow. That is the issue. Man. Okay, something else I was thinking, if I push this up, after he goes here. So if he pushes that pawn and I go up there, his rook will be able to infiltrate in. All right. This is really giving me a problem here. What can we do? If I bring my... Man, I'm just in trouble here, I think. If I bring my rook down this way and he just continues pushing forward with his pawn, well, if I go this way, his king will kind of get into the position. Oh, wait, I can't go here anyway because he'll be able to take with check. And the bishop is covering that also. All right. Man, this is just crazy. Okay. What in the heck can I do here? What can I do? What can I do? Man, all right, I think I got to keep that rook there. I'm getting in a position where I'm kind of just stuck here. So let's just do that. Man, I just wasted 5 minutes on that one move, which is Not good at all. Okay. So if I take, now, do I go here? No, if I do that, he can just check me, but then I can attack him. Does that work, though? All right, hold on. If I move up here, he can check me. I probably ought to just attack him immediately. It doesn't work, though. Okay, if I move the pawn up, he checks. Or he could take here. But if I go there, he can check again. I kind of have to move to the edge and then I'm trapped. And then he can grab that pawn. So that doesn't work. All right, kind of got to go there, I guess. But now he can go all the way down to there. And start harassing me. Oh, yeah, that move does not look so good. Great. Great, great, great. Yeah, now my position just falls apart just because I let that rook in. Man, I don't know. This probably should have been a drawn endgame. I mean, I'm still. I don't. It looks like I'm gonna end up losing too many pawns, though. Hmm. Well, I kind of have to move. So maybe I have to go there. Now, if we come up, he's going to attack and grab more material and have a passed pawn over here. Not good, not good at all here. Now we're just fighting for a draw, and that doesn't look so good. All right, I probably have to take. Then I can push forward like that. All right, now what? Do I go after the other pawn? And then he's going to have 2 pawns over there. Or do I protect mine and keep him stuck with passed pawns? I think we need to go there. All right, not looking too good. Not looking too good. All right, what does he do now? He just starts pushing these pawns up, I guess. And then, once he does that, then his king can just head over here and pick this off. All right. What now? What now? I guess I kind of just have to go back and forth. I don't know. I can hope for a draw if I could figure out a way to knock these pawns out. Stop these pawns. And end up sacrificing. All right. What now? What now? Okay, that at least stops that other pawn from moving. But it looks like I would have to maneuver my bishop down here to stop him. All right, what is the quickest way? Man, he's going to have 3 moves over there to grab that. Okay, I'll leave that there. I'll get my king up here. Okay, now... what now? What now? All right, I kind of got to go that way. Man. Yeah, this is lost. I'm just going to play it out that way. For those that want to see how it ends up or how to win this. Great. Now there's nothing I can do. I'll just resign. I'm going to lose anyway on time. That was awful. There's no way to stop all these pawns. Okay, game review. Man, I hate losing games like that. It all was because I let that rook into my position. Wow, they played 93.3% accuracy. It's also tough to win against somebody when they're, playing in the 90s. They played at a 2350 level. I played at 2150. All right. I had 5 inaccuracies. They had 4, but they had no mistakes, no misses, or no blunders, and I had 3 mistakes. Wow. Okay, I'll just kind of blast through these real quick. I don't know. That was just kind of a messed up game. I had my chances, I guess. Yeah, it looks like the game was even until that's probably when his rook got in. If about the last third of the game. All right, because all the way through this, it's pretty even. Huh. So, it looks like I should have attacked the rook up here. And then that would prevent, well, then I could take. Huh. I don't know. I definitely, okay, we'll look at that in the analysis. I'll just blast through this. So this was an awful move, but I didn't want his king coming into the position. Wow, it said I should have moved away with the king. Yeah, here, so, okay, I'll just go through and then I'll do the analysis, which you should also always look at your analysis. Here I'm just losing completely, so the final moves were here and there's no way to win against that. All right, so if we go back to the beginning and look at this with computer analysis, d4, knight to f6 is a common move to prevent me from bringing both pawns in the center. But now that I bring this knight up, I can push both pawns in the center. So they fianchetto here. What is this, an Indian game? Kind of like a Queen's Indian. So we take the center, the best move. They attack it. Now I have to defend that. So apparently bishop to d3 would have been a better move. So I should have taken a look at that. That would develop a piece. But here I thought, well, I'm attacking, and it looks like, oh, wow. I didn't even look at this move. The best move was queen to f3 up there, because then if he captures, I would grab his bishop. Yeah, so I just didn't play that very good, and this was just a mistake. I mean, I'm still ahead after this move, but after that, we have capture, attack. Now, apparently they like bishop to e3 better, just developing another piece, but they run knight. Huh. Knight to h5 is recommended. But my advantage is slowly disappearing. So that's not good. Now I'm just behind. Black has an edge now. Knight to h5 is what they wanted. Huh. All right. Well, that's a good tactic. You attack the center pawn with your flank pawn. So I'm going to defend, although they recommended bishop to f4, developing a piece. All right, so black has the edge right now. Okay, this was an inaccuracy, swinging the advantage slightly in white's favor now. Should I have gone king up to f2? No, it says castling is best, which is what I did. And then capture is best. They capture. Man, so the game all came down to this weak h-file because of these doubled pawns. And the king, infiltrating along with that rook. My opponent just coordinated his pieces a little bit better than I did, I guess. Okay. So here, rook to f2 is best, which is what I played. Oh, because he's threatening that checkmate there, so I had to play that. Capture. Queen takes is best. Then we grab the rook. And now rook at a to c8. Doubling rooks. Capture, capture. And h5 is the best move, apparently. But they play this, I guess, so he can gain space over here. Bring my king up, although an immediate g4 was better. So here, what do they recommend? G4 or even B5? Now, maybe that wasn't the best move. Maybe I should have activated my rook in a better way. Moving up here, and then put my bishop here. That probably would have been better. So here, yeah, I probably should have moved my... Well, now they're saying bishop to b6 would have been a better move. All right. Anyway, the king starts coming, and now... What is best? King up to e3. They don't like that move. Huh. So they find the best move, the pawn push. Now here, it looks like king to e3 once again was best. That was a mistake. So king to e3 would have kept the game about even. Huh. Letting them take that pawn. And then I could swing my rook over maybe to the open file. Wow. So they recommend king to e3, pawn takes, rook over to h2, grabbing the open file. Oh, and then I can go after this pawn later, maybe. Well, I don't know, because the bishop could come down in here and protect it. Then what do I do? So, I don't know. I could take a look at that. They recommend this. Capture. Rook over to h2. Then what? Bishop to f3. Bishop up to d6. blocking the rook. But then, I don't know, there's the other threat of coming back the other way. Rook to c8. I mean, I guess I could keep blocking each time. Now I have bishop to c5. That would have been better than what happened in the game. Just preventing the rook from coming into the position. Huh. All right. In the game, we had g5. Then the king starts moving up. What is best here? At this point, I'm just in trouble. Black has a bigger edge now, about a pawn and a half edge. Well, after rook to d1, it's not better. Now this is even worse. Now I'm almost losing. So they find the best move. I guess I found the best place for that bishop, but then the game continued with this capture. So what do you do? Oh, here I should have played g6, it looks like. g6. H takes g3 with check, but then the king can take that pawn. Man. Yeah, I'm just losing after this. So the game continues with capture, capture. That was not the best move. Rook to d3 apparently was better, just to give up more material. But now I'm just really losing here. That's best. What do they recommend here? g6. But at this point, it's just completely lost. So what do they recommend here? They probably recommend resigning. Okay. Oh man, yeah, it's awful now. The king is just going to march over there. And I needed to have my bishop here to stop that pawn. But then he would grab the other pawn. You know, or this one would march forward. Okay, I'm going to end the video here, wrap it up. Feel free to leave comments, like and subscribe to support the channel. Thank you for watching and have a super chess day.